Samurai Kennels Wednesday morning wake up, the coffee talk. Yes, sir. Right here is the litter of puppies that we just had, and as you can see, they are doing just fine. Their eyes are opening, and we are getting them right on along. Yes, sir. So this right here is one of the females. She got that little LT tray look to her. Yeah, I like her a lot. And then here is the male that I am partial to. He's got that white splash on his head. Good morning, Daryl Smith. Good morning. Good morning, Dickie. Yes, sir. Good morning. How y'all doing? Yes, sir. It is currently 8:57. Y'all know I don't like to start my talk till right at 9, but good morning. Welcome to the chat. This is the runt female right here. Yep. There she goes. And then here is the big male off this litter. Thank you. Thank you, Dickie. I appreciate that. It's the big male. He's the sleepiest one, too. Big, sleepy male. But yeah, they moving around now. They starting to do stuff, baby. Morning, Tony. Temp Hill. Yes, sir. And then here's this one right here. This female looks just like Saki did when he was a puppy. She's a very good representation of the look, the phenotype of my dogs. Yeah, but I wanted to just share these puppies with you, you know. Yeah, y'all know I don't like to start the live until right at the time I say. Punctuality is big in my book. It's kind of part of my job to be very punctual with things. So, but I just wanted to share the puppies with y'all before we start the live, you know, and talk. Hey, I appreciate that, Burgess Bulldogs. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, y'all, for those of y'all who are really detail oriented, this is pine, not cedar. Honestly, I don't have a preference. I can't give you no scientific answers why I pick pine over cedar. But what I did do is I like the smell of pine better. Even if you go in my office, my scent and everything is pine that I keep in my office. If you look, they're already walking around, man. They're 2 weeks old today, and yeah, these little boogers are just getting to the age where they can start to get in trouble. I'm letting Bacardi get a break from them for a little bit because they are draining her dry. As y'all can see, he looks like a hamster. Is this a he? No, this is a she. This is that female I was telling y'all about. They look like little hamsters. Like little hamsters, little fat kids. And if you look at those wrinkly noses, man, they're gonna have some nice little dome pieces on them. I know that in the American Pit Bull Terrier community, like, we don't care about that, and I don't, but I do like it. You know, I do like a beefier bulldog, that Bully Son look. And, you know, as everybody knows, Bully Son runs through the Honey Bunch line. That's her father. But yeah, man, I just want to share that with y'all this morning. And obviously these puppies are kept inside. They won't see outside until after they've had at least their second round of vaccinations. That's my standard here. Yeah, they're kept inside in here in the garage. But we're approaching that 9 o'clock hour. I'm an hour late. This morning I had to do we did a 1.5 mile run. We're graduating a new class of United States Airmen this morning. And so I was a mentor for one of the classes graduating. So I had to go out there and, you know, run with my wingman, my fellow airmen here today. All right. Let me get this live set up for y'all. We're gonna get into this chat here at 9 o'clock because I'm showing it it's approximately 9 o'clock my time. Yes, sir. Let me get this set up for you. Yeah, it's one of these days I'll become technologically savvy enough to have multiple cameras going, but for right now, y'all gotta bear with your brother. If I can, for those of y'all who are in the chat, if I can get a thumbs up to make sure our sound check is good before we start the show, that'd be much appreciated. And if not, I understand that too. But that thumbs up really helps to know that you can hear me loud and clear. And the top. Oh, I appreciate it, Dickie Foster. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. All right. Hey, thank you, Tony M. Okay, y'all, it is 9 o'clock or 0900 for those of y'all who serve military time. And I got some topics to cover today. And a lot of these topics are things that, once again, it is the springtime of the year. I understand a lot of people have kennels, a lot of people have puppies right now. And there are some things that I really want to go over with y'all about puppies, and specifically wellness and illnesses that can affect puppies that really don't bother the grown dogs too much. So we're going to get right into it. Topics that I'm going to cover today are puppy illness, the parvovirus, Ricketts, preventing, treating, and what to do for recovery. 2 ways to get into the game, which is kind of subsequent to, but I kind of wanted to share some information. I talked to a brother about this last night, and I think it ties in well as far as getting into the game and getting yourself involved in the pit bull community. Why they should cost more, and the great convention for all channels. I am your host, Andre Williams at Samurai Kennel, and I want to get this thing started off right with y'all. So the first things we're going to talk about are puppy illnesses. Puppy illnesses are illnesses that typically affect your puppies. Just let the pet supply about to give. Absolutely, Daryl Smith. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Puppy illnesses affect typically just your puppies. The most viral one, the most dangerous one that you're going to see is the parvovirus. So I'm going to give y'all what I know or what I've been exposed to, but also I did some research for y'all on this one to make sure I'm giving you as accurate information as I possibly can. So parvo. Typically, parvo comes from direct interaction with another animal. But however, parvovirus to the dogs is almost like the coronavirus to us as far as being able to be spread. It can be spread through airborne, through touching another dog, direct contact with another dog, or left. And the parvovirus can sit on the surface for up to a month after it's gone through. The most common way for your dogs to contract parvo is through another dog's fecal matter, which is why it's extremely important when you have puppies or are going to have puppies around your area to clean up other poop and pee. It's also your job to police your neighbors to ensure they walk their dogs through your yard or on your part of the sidewalk, that you also bleach and treat that portion of your property as well. This is extremely important if you live in a residential community like I do. The parvovirus can be treated by veterinarians or at home. I'm going to start off with the veterinary treatment first because this is the most appropriate thing and the responsible thing for me to do as an advocate for the channel is to make sure that I'm letting y'all know exactly what you're supposed to do. And then I'm also going to help those of y'all who can't afford the veterinarian because everybody can't afford the vet every day of the week. First, veterinarians have a 68 to 96% ratio depending on the treatments and medicine that they can authorize to use, as well as how quickly you get the dog there from the time you notice parvo onset. The onsets of parvo have some telltale signs that everybody should be familiar with, and I want to share those with you. Specifically if this is your first puppy, because with all the new channels emerging, a lot of people are just getting indoctrinated into the culture, and I assumed everybody knew these things, but I've already gotten 3 phone calls in the last month about parvo or Ricketts, the 2 diseases I want to cover today. For parvo, the first thing you'll notice with a puppy, that I notice on every puppy I've ever seen with parvo, is they'll become lethargic first. Before I saw any physical signs, the poop, or any of the other things we're going to talk about, was the puppy was really lethargic and began not eating or not feeding. So my puppies, usually I watch how much they eat. Like I get the little cups of soft food for my puppies, or if I'm doing kibble for my puppies, I give specific measurements. That's probably the only time in life that I'll ever follow what the bag says for me to do with my dogs. Simply because it's a good gauge of whether your puppy's eating and their appetite is growing as they grow. All right. Also, I weigh my puppies at least every 3 days. My puppies are weighed, so I know if they're gaining or losing weight. All right. Very first thing. So onset, they'll become lethargic. All right. So if your puppies become lethargic, the next step you're typically going to see is the lack of food, but also their poop will be a lot of times loose, really, really loose stool, as well as you may even see blood in the stool. That is a telltale sign of parvo, but can also be coccidia, which is also not good for puppies. I'm not going to cover coccidia in this episode, but that's probably something we should talk about in another live. All right. So tired, poop, possible blood in the poop. Whitening of the gums is another thing that I have personally seen on dogs that carry the parvovirus or dogs that have been exposed to the parvovirus. So if you're seeing any of those things, sudden weight loss, any of those things that are affecting your puppy could be signs of the onset of parvo, amongst many other diseases, which wise I will always encourage you that if you don't know how to treat your dogs at home, just seek medical attention. If you can't afford medical attention, I'm going to give you some remedies, some home remedies that have worked for me. And it's only had about maybe a 15 to 20% chance, but at least it gave me a chance. And these are just remedies that I was given from old dog man. The first thing that I've seen is if you know how to administer an IV at home, a lot of like really experienced like healing men or cut men know how to work their own dogs. They will get an IV and set up an IV and get nutrients and fluids into their animal and ensure the animal is not becoming extremely dehydrated, because that's one of the side effects of parvo is that the animal is becoming extremely dehydrated and make it really hard for that puppy to survive. Additionally, if you have a puppy that is suffering from the parvovirus, one of the things that I've been told, and it has really worked, or I've seen bring back the ones that you can bring back, is giving them electrolyte-based juices. Gatorade, I typically go with Pedialyte powders packets, which are the same package I use for Saki during this condition and keep, and it's never caused an issue. I don't give the whole packet. I simply add a little bit of that packet to some water, and I will syringe feed them almost as if I'm worming that dog to ensure that that dog is getting as much electrolytes as possible to help it fight off naturally the parvovirus. All right. Also, making sure your dogs, as a preventative, making sure your dogs are properly vaccinated as soon as they're 6 to 8 weeks old is extremely important. Most dogs get their antibodies from their mothers until they're separated from their mothers. But when you take it home, it's now your job to mother that puppy and finish that growth process. So what we've covered so far in this first 10 minutes was basically today's episode. We showed the puppies early on, and we also talked about puppy-borne illnesses, specifically the parvovirus. With that parvovirus, we talked about the onset of parvo, noticing signs and symptoms of parvo, preventing it professionally, and preventing it non-professionally. Now let's talk about what you do for recovery. Once a puppy has shown signs of parvo and recovered from parvo or suspected parvo, you want to continue to pump electrolytes into this puppy to help it build its immune system. I also highly encourage that you finish your vaccination process if it was not completed and add another round of vaccination to that puppy to help boost that immune system. Vaccinations, as we covered in a previous episode, start as early as 6 weeks and can run all the way out to 16 weeks of your puppy. If you want your puppy to be successful, I highly encourage you to ensure that that puppy is getting those treatments on time as scheduled and that the medication was refrigerated from the time that it was given to the store until the time you brought it home into your dwelling. So that's all we're going to talk about for parvo this morning. For any other topics on parvo, I highly encourage you to talk to a veterinarian offline or find your veterinarian that actually cares about the animals and not their pockets, and that will give you more in-depth information or over-the-counter medications that you can use to combat parvo. Now we're going to cover a disease known as Ricketts. Ricketts is something I never even saw until I was about probably 19 or 20 years old. It's not something I saw as a kid, and I didn't really understand how Ricketts worked. So I really want to talk about Ricketts with you. The picture on the thumbnail of this video is a puppy suffering from what is known as Ricketts. So upon doing some research, I found that what causes Ricketts typically is lack of vitamin D, which typically for puppies is they're being kept inside. So the puppies are not getting exposure to sunlight, and it can cause Ricketts. Also the diet, a low or overly low or overly high protein diet, an unbalanced diet for a puppy can cause Ricketts. Major 2 causes of Ricketts. A lot of times you take a puppy home and if you change the food it was being fed, it can really affect that puppy because the nutrition deficit from one food to the next could be substantial. This is why I always encourage you, if you have puppies, to feed puppy food and supplement it with goat milk, or at least that's what I use. I use goat milk whenever I'm converting my puppies from weaning them from the mom to moving on to hard food. My food is always saturated with goat milk because it has a lot of the same properties as the mother's milk. All right. Now, let me give you a scenario of how this happens. The fastest scenario to contracting the Ricketts is you get a puppy and you want to pick it up. Boom. I want that puppy the day it turns 6 weeks old. You do. Cool. Now, keep in mind that puppy has been nursing off the mother the entire 6 weeks, which means all the antibodies and immunities that it was getting from the mother are no longer being provided by nursing. So when you take this puppy home, once again, just like the parvovirus, it is your job to help boost those antibodies. The first step is I always send home at least 3 days supply of the same dog food that I was using on my puppies to any person I send a puppy home to. This ensures that it gives them time to find that brand of food or find a supplemental food and begin to filter out my food and filter in their feed. This is to help that adjustment process. This is just responsible pet ownership 101. This also help you identify if you're suffering from parvovirus, because by not immediately switching dog food, you're going to have a much more solid stool, which will give you a better indicator if your puppy's healthy or not. All right? So you started noticing that knuckling over look on your puppy. If you catch it early, it can be corrected by simply exposure to vitamin D, which can be gained through sunlight and certain foods, or by increasing or decreasing the protein nutrients that your dog is getting. Typically, it's too much protein in the food, so you're going to want to dial it back and possibly add some more milk to that food. But once it starts to knuckle over too far, that puppy could be stuck like that for life. And that's one of the brutal, honest truths about that. There are some medical procedures that can correct it. However, even with correcting that, it still is not 100%. It's not 100% that you're going to fix that dog's paw once it's completely knuckled over. I've seen a grown dog with it. If your dog gets rickets, it's not life ending. However, it's not going to be, that dog's not going to be shown. That dog can still be used for a breeding program if it behaves appropriately, but it's going to lose significant amount of its body ability to perform for you in a performance standard, whether that be weight pull, wall climb, high jump, whatever activity you're involved in. That dog is going to lose that. Oh, no. It's not just exotic bullies. It's not just exotics. And that's why I picked up a pit bull type dog to put in a thumbnail, but that is very good input. But yeah, so that's rickets. Now, treating rickets, we already said, to treat rickets, you simply want to either decrease or increase the protein intake and get exposure to sunlight. So, as we all know, most people don't want to put their dogs on the ground until they're fully vaccinated. A trick you can do is, in my house, I have a lot of east or west facing windows, and I have X pens. So I'll just put the puppies in an X pen inside the house, expose the sunlight that way, and that's another good way to get them exposed to sunlight to make sure they're getting their vitamin D nutrients as appropriate. But that's a way to kind of treat it. Other than that, we'll be going to a veterinarian, which is going to cost a lot of money. Also, for those of y'all who do just prefer to go to the veterinarian, there is a such thing as pet insurance. You should speak to your local vets about which pet insurances they honor so that you can make sure you're covered for your area. And for what to do for recovery from rickets, if you do surgery, follow the veterinarian's orders. If you catch it early enough for recovery, keep the dog exposed to a lot of vitamin D, or continue to feed vitamin D rich foods such as goat milk, and continue to expose them to sunlight. Those are the three things for recovery from rickets to maintain it and ensure that you don't continue the knuckling over process, and it may even allow the puppy to correct it because their growth plates aren't set. Now that we've covered the two diseases that I really wanted to cover for today, I want to move on to some more dog man specific things and less health specific things. If you're just joining live, welcome. Go ahead and hit that like button. And in today's Wednesday Live, we cover puppy illnesses, specifically the parvovirus and rickets. We then covered preventing it and noticing the onset of these, treating, and what to do for recovery. Now I want to go into some conversations I had with other dog men and give some information. First, I want to pay respect to the late Carl Mims. Last night on Fat Bills Live, it was brought to my attention that Mr. Carl Mims had passed. Being a fellow North Carolinian and also having some of my dogs registered to BFKC, this is a big thing for me. The one of the few interactions I actually have had with Carl Mims was the first time I ever registered a dog in my name, it was a BFKC, not with the ADBA. And I didn't really know what I was doing. And so he takes cash or money orders for his registry. Well, I miscalculated. I didn't really understand how much money to send him, so I sent him too much money. And when he mailed me back my certificates of registration, he mailed me back my change with a note explaining to me exactly why he sent me some of my money back, because I overpaid him. And that's just he was just an honest guy. He didn't have to do that, and I would have never known the difference at all. Additionally, I have a family member who's very close to him. I also want to send out condolences to that family member. He's been friends with Carl Mims since their late 80s, and I remember them like having conversations on my porch, like just talking to one another and just chopping it up about different dogs. I also mentioned a dog named Mims Ritz last night in Fat Bills Live. Ritz is just a dog that I had the pleasure to actually put hands on one of his puppies. It was Ritz Jr. And man, like that dog, uh, the power that those dogs had was amazing, man. Like my cousin let him out. He kept it was his house dog. He kept his dog as his house dog, and he let that dog out of his pen, right? And the dog ran out into the yard and ran past me. And like I kid you not, it felt like a horse, like how much force this animal had. Like this dog ran past me and it felt like a horse was just like pounding the ground, like to just it was just powerful. I like, there's not a lot of dogs I felt with that much power, even much larger dogs. You know, this is probably a 50-pound dog max. You know, very, very, very hound looking dog, but very much so red boy Jocko animal. And so I just wanted to share that with y'all and rest in peace. And my prayers are out to the Mims family. I should have covered this at the beginning of the live, but I was kind of off my square, but I'm back on my square right now with y'all. But yeah, so let's talk about 2 ways to get into the game. And this is really important to me because I may have offended some older dog men, and I want to rectify the issue because my goal is never to offend. I believe in the Bushido Code. If you're new to my channel, please check out my Bushido Code series and playlist of videos to understand what that means to me and how I apply it to modern life. Once again, I'm a neo dog man. I am not an old school dog man. I don't have the credentials of an old school dog man, nor will I ever, because it is impossible to reach those credentials nowadays and be able to prove it. Additionally, I consider myself an owner of the modern game dog because once again, the way that we used to prove our game animals is no longer the same way. Even though some people still do it, that is not a sustainable way of life. It is a way of life that is going away. And I highly encourage my brothers who are in the game to take care of yourself. And as soon as you're clear, get clear and stay clear. But let's talk about getting into the game of being an American Pit Bull Terrier owner and breeder of an authentic, well-bred American Pit Bull Terrier. Top of the morning, good brother. Salute. This subject is kind of tough to me because if y'all follow me from any of my 2020, 2021 videos, you'll know that I struggled to get in the game because I went to several breeders and they wouldn't, knowing that I'm interested in bite work, they would not release an animal to me. And I respect them for standing on their square, but it made it extremely difficult for me to find the pit bull that I wanted. All right? So to find the proper pit bull, there's 2 ways to get into the game. As y'all hear me say on almost every video, the game is meant to be sold, not told. So the fastest way to get into the game is to get your pockets right and to just go and purchase an animal from a reputable breeder or the best quality animal you can afford. I'm not gonna say the most costly animal, but the best quality animal you can afford. Just purchase that from a breeder who is open to the public. Fastest way to get into the game. All right. The other way to get into the game is the more traditional way to get into the game and also the better tested way to get into the game. And one of the most important things I can tell you about this is the people who do this prove themselves, and that's why they don't get charged as much typically. Start off as a yard man for somebody or find somebody who is willing to take you on and let you actually learn about their blood. When you learn about their blood, you're not only going to know that you're buying an authentic American Pit Bull Terrier, but you're going to know the characteristics of that animal. You're going to know like how that dog wakes up. You're going to know their routine. You're going to know how often they like to empty out. How to keep a keep. Like the keep that I'm using for Saki to get him in shape is the same keep that was used to get his father in shape, and the same keep that we used to get his grandfather in shape. It is my line of dogs keep, right? So like, I don't know if Schoolboy's keep will work for my dog. It probably would be very effective, but the keep that's been working for my line is this. And by working with me directly, anybody who's affiliated with Samurai Kennels would probably benefit them to at least know how these dogs are kept so they can augment it and make it their own way. There's nothing new under the sun. So whenever you're starting or getting into something, it's best to get an ideology of the history. So what we covered so far, what we're moving into, if you're just joining the live is, when this live is over, you can go back and hit the first 15 minutes. We covered puppy-borne illnesses, the parvovirus, and Ricketts. We talked about preventing them, treating them, and post-treatment recovery. Then I gave an homage to Mr. Carl Mims, rest in peace, blessings to his family, as well as moving on to how to get into the game. For those of y'all who are just tuning into my channel, if you're new to the channel, please hit like, follow, and subscribe, but we're going to press with this live. So you decided to purchase an animal and get into the game. If you're going to purchase an animal and get into the game, I highly encourage you to still do your research. This just means if you're more introverted or it's hard to get in touch with the actual breeder you want to get in touch with, do your research and just look at a lot of internet articles. We're in the age of information, so you can get information from anywhere. One of the locations that I first started getting my information from was the Game Dog Forum. The Game Dog Forum is an old school forum, and there's a lot of crap talking on there, but there's a lot of good information from those people who actually want to share good information. And those individuals help mold me into the person I am right now. For the ones of those who just wanted to give out the information so that people who wanted to get involved could get involved and be effective and affect change in the community. If you're going to follow the second way I talked about, of being a yard man and helping somebody out, find somebody who is reputable and make sure you bring something to their kennel that is beneficial. They're not going to just want to take you on as a liability. You need to bring something to the table. Are you willing to rake the yard? Are you willing to help change out water each morning? There's not a lot of trust nowadays. So building that trust, I'd rather hand my dog off to somebody I trust than somebody who paid me. Let me say that again, louder for the people in the back. I'd rather hand off one of my puppies to someone I trust than someone who paid me. When somebody buys a dog from you, they're simply buying the rights to that dog depending on what your contract states. And if you don't have a contract, you've given them all permissions to that animal. If you earn that animal, not only will you understand exactly what's expected of that animal, but there is an unsaid level of respect in earning that animal. And moving in the future, like there won't be a lot of dogs let go directly from my Saki line in the future. It just won't happen. I'm starting to see some of the error in my ways, and I'm gonna start rectifying that. Right now I'm on Gen 2. By Gen 5, my doors will be completely closed to the public. Because it's the people that are getting in on the ground floor now, they're going to start their breeding programs. And if I need outs or if I need to source my puppies that I can't keep, I'll source them to people who are going to cherish them and respect them and keep them in the hands of people who are the proper owners for the American Pit Bull Terrier. Now, that being said, what makes you the proper owner for the American Pit Bull Terrier? I don't care that your daddy was a dog man. I don't care that you've been in dogs 20 years. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is respect for that animal. If you purchase a firearm and you wave it around at people, you shouldn't have that firearm. If you purchase an American Pit Bull Terrier and you think that there's not the chance that animal being animal aggressive and killing somebody or hurting somebody or maiming a puppy or a pet or somebody else's property, then you're sorely mistaken and you're not the person for my animals. And I don't care how you feel about that. My dogs are bred to be high intensity working dogs, and that is exactly who I want them to go to. I would prefer my animals to go to a single pet family, and for that person to be a person who likes to exercise. I run with my dogs. I ride a bike with my dogs. My dogs are exercised daily. They're fed an athletic diet, and I'm also going to be switching to a fully raw diet. I've been feeding Saki raw the last month, and I prefer the raw diet over kibble. So when my bags of kibble are gone, with the exception of my puppies, when my kibble is gone, I'm done with kibble. All right? So welcome to the chat. If you just got here, we've covered a lot of topics: puppy illness, rickets, parvo, preventing, treating, what's necessary, 2 ways to get in the game. And now I want to talk about something that I saw on Going Hard Kennels chat the other night. Going Hard talked about does a title affect the cost of a dog nowadays? And a large percentage of people in the chat said yes. So I wanted to just chime in on that. And I talked to my partner here at Samurai Kennels San Antonio. And with my partner, one of the things he was saying was, and that we spoke about, and I really never thought about it this way until he said it, was if you go buy a Frenchie right now that's a Muro, you're going to probably pay anywhere between 10 grand and 15 grand for a really poorly bred dog other than for color, right? And as a pit bull community, we are competing ourselves into the ground by, we're not even oversaturating the market. We're just trying to beat out the next dog man. And that's really a shame. And disclaimer, I do not necessarily agree with the practices of Chico Lopez, but I understand where he's coming from on a different level now. I'll probably never present myself the same way, but I want you to understand this for those who are listening. One of the things that we have done to ourselves is we have bred the best breed of dogs with the most research done of any dog in the world. We've made the information as readily available to the public as we possibly can. We have done this to ourselves. And we have not held a standard. As an example, I used the Frenchies, a Merle Frenchie, just for color. They have created a niche where they can just breed for color and sell a dog for $10,000 because they've created a standard. We just care about to be the most exclusive. That's what their breed is for. We have looked at how to isolate traits, how to get a certain phenotype, genotype. We have it down to line breeding. Like no other breeders from other groups are consistently as knowledgeable about their breed as we are. No other groups, none. And so when you put in the time and you read these books, salute JT, salute, welcome to the chat. When you put in the time and effort and like when have you ever seen people conditioning Frenchies like that? I mean, come on, be real. Like the amount of work we put into these dogs to keep them healthy, not even the police Malinois is really rocking with us. Like they're not, nobody's messing with us right now. Nobody. And we out here bashing each other across the head for selling dogs for, 5 bands. I mean, that's Chico thing. Do I think every dog's worth 5 bands? No, I don't. But the amount of effort and time you put into researching that raking up that crap in the backyard, changing that fresh water every morning, dealing with the people we got to deal with in our game, because it's two sides to the game. It's two sides of the game. You got people that square business and you got people that ain't. And just for having to deal with the people that ain't, you're shortchanging yourself. You're shortchanging yourself. You didn't get into this game easy. It was never meant to be easy. And the reason why they should either earn your respect and you gift them the animal for a decent price or nothing at all, or charge them is so you know how serious they are about this game we're in. We are a stone's throw, and we're just really, really close to losing our breed. The brother PBK9 has been showing y'all we've been having animal attack, yard raid, dogfight, ring bust, nonstop. It has to stop. It has to stop. So I don't care what anybody thinks. Good morning, Gas and Go. Good morning. Hey, I've been hearing nothing but great things about you, my brother. And on your channel, you're doing positive things. Y'all go follow. Matter of fact, if they're in the chat and they got a channel, if you're following me, you should be following the people that are in the chat, because we are a community. We're gonna stick together. But yeah, welcome, Gas and Go. But yeah, y'all, like if you're shortchanging yourself, man, you've done the research, you found the bloodline or built the bloodline that works for you, and you letting your stuff go for nickels and dimes, man, you're letting it go to people who are not gonna respect your stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like you can let your puppies go to somebody you trust for nothing. Like every litter I've ever had, at least 2 of them go to a family member or friend who's been waiting for years. They've been around. They know how my dogs operate. They've seen how I take care of my animals. Most of them are people who like have stayed with me from at some point when they got on a hard time, and they took care of my dogs better than I did. Those are the kind of people I give my dogs to. Like I want you to have this dog. I know you're gonna respect it. That's the kind of people I want to have it. I don't care if you bring me 5 bands. That's great. Yeah, I'm a businessman. Like 5 bands is good money for a puppy. But that person with 5 bands, I might not ever hear from them again. They're not a friend. They're a customer. But that person that drove 3 hours to come see me and sit down and talk to me and learn about what I want and where I want to go with this, and they're like, hey man, like if I can't breed to you, I'm gonna make sure I breed to a dog that you would have bred to. That's the kind of people I want around me. You know what I'm saying? Like we trying to build a community here. Shout out to Gas and Go one more time, man. Shout out to all the kennels out there, man. Like I would love to do collabs with y'all. I know I'm a little different, and y'all know I do the bite work stuff, man. You know, so don't beat me up too bad about it, but that's my thing. But yeah, man, I really appreciate all of y'all, man. Soul Power, thank you for throwing my hide in your live the other day. If y'all didn't see his live, go back and check it out. He got some of my product in there. Yeah, if you're just getting into the chat, let me tell y'all what we covered so far. So far we covered puppy illnesses, specifically the parvovirus and Ricketts. We talked about the onset of those things, preventing them, the treating of it, and what to do for recovery. Then we talked about the legendary Carl Mims, gave him a shout out. We moved on to the 2 ways to move into the game. And now we're talking about, or we're moving on from what puppies should cost. Personal opinion. If you have a dog that is conformationally sound, Those dogs should start out just for being conformationally sound and healthy at $1,000. Personal opinion. Personal opinion. Like, don't beat me up. Don't shoot me. You can sell your animals for whatever you want to. It's just advice. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But yeah, conformationally sound, $1,000. A dog that'll work, $1,500. A dog with a title, you set your price. Because with me being a state champion in basketball, with me winning several military awards, I got medals on my counter right now. You don't know, nobody knows what the hours you put into that but you. And if you don't make it mean something, it don't mean something. And you're giving that away. If you just put up 400 shots in the gym to make one game winner, the crowd only sees that game winner. They don't know that you were in there until your shoulders were sore the day before to get ready for that shot. They don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Now, the people that's in the trenches with you, they see that or they know it. They can respect it. They can feel it. And if you know they're in the trenches with you, then yeah, you should give them that. Soul power, that's what I'm talking about. If my brother says he wants $1,500 for that dog, I'm not talking him down. If he wants $1,500, I'm paying $1,500. And I don't care how big your kennel is. I don't. I honestly, me personally, I don't want, like, big kennels. Do I rock with them? I'll support them by buying their merchandise. That's how I support the big kennels. The next dog that I purchased for my program is coming from a kennel that's small like mine. I want to help build something. You can't build something that's already built. You can't take a McDonald's and put another M on there. You can't do that. That's not what I'm trying to do here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want somebody who, okay, I give you an example. I ran into this channel last night, K9 Swift. He's already doing what I'm trying to do. Already. $4,000 and won't live but 3 years. Do you know I got a partner who had a pit bull that just died last year that was 22 years old? That dog survived his kids' whole childhood and their college. Man, y'all got me on one right now. Y'all got me emotionally hijacked, but it's all good because we're going to get this out today. So, yeah, man, like, set your price, man. If you say $1,500, stick to your guns. These people that are trying to buy their way into the game, they need to make sure they earn their right into the game, man. And I'm not saying to stall nobody out, but just tell them the truth. Just give them the why. Most people will rock with you if you give them the why. I only have 1,000 and some subscribers, right? But every one of my subscribers knows that I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you why I do what I do. Whether I'm right or wrong, I stand on my square. You know what I'm saying? You can correct me in the comments or you can hit me up. I respond to phone calls and text messages. You can hit me up and we can talk offline, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build a better community. We're the best of all the dog breeds. We're the best of all the dog breeds and we have the worst character. It's got to change. It's got to change. There is no other group of individuals that is as tough as us. And I'll give you an example. Walk your dog through Lowe's. Walk your game bred dog through Lowe's. Everybody gonna either be turning their nose up at you, want to ask you questions. Everybody got something to say. Now watch one of them Karens or somebody walk their little frou-frou dog through Lowe's. Nothing. Just to walk your dog down the street, you gotta have some heart. If you're gonna walk in a public location, just to walk your dog as an American Pit Bull Terrier owner down the street, you gotta have some heart. Now you mean to tell me, like, I walk my dogs in the morning and I get looks. Oh, he must, literally from my neighbors, he must be getting that dog ready for a dog fight. That's a pit bull. That dog should have some more weight on it. It's you know what I'm saying? The ribs are showing a little bit. It's supposed to. It's part of the breed standard, but they don't know that. It takes courage to do that. You know what I'm saying? Most pit bull owners walk their dogs at night or go to places where there's nobody else from the public. Why are we hiding? Absolutely. Have your priorities straight. And if you can't afford it, yes. When breeding structurally sound animals, healthy workability, yes. I also encourage y'all, the good brother over at Fit Bullies. I know we're not a bully channel, but some of their practices is good. They have wait lists. And I promise you, for my next litter, there will be a wait list. I promise you. Hands down the best breed. Yes, JT. Hey, y'all, matter of fact, shout out to my brother, JT. Yo, JT, this brother been solid, man. This dude has nothing but love for this game. And I'm going to share some information with y'all that JT gave me in the next segment. For those y'all just joining, welcome to the chat. If you didn't see the beginning of the chat, you can watch it once it's fully uploaded to YouTube. We covered some puppy-borne illnesses, talking about specifically parvovirus and Ricketts. Then we moved into preventing, treatment, and what to do for recovery. We paid alms to Carl Mims. I gave a little talk about what I know about Carl Mims personally. Then we talked about 2 ways to get into the game. Good morning. We do it all. Good morning. Salute. And then we talked about why our dogs should cost more. Why our dogs should cost more. Like, I'm not telling you how to hustle. I'm telling you what the truth is. Because I know for a fact that a $15 Honda Civic that you can get with your tax money, you don't treat that. Most people don't. Most people don't. There are some people that treat their whatever car they got, they treat it like gold. And for those people, that is the exception to the rule. But just because it's an exception to the rule, don't make it a rule. When somebody gets something easy, they don't tend to take care of it because they don't go through the process of knowing how to care for it. When you get something hard, you don't want to mess it up. That's why yes, sir. Absolutely. Hey, that's how I found out about Fit Bullies from your channel. Thank you so much. Let me put this back out there for y'all, though. Let me restructure this for y'all. All right. When you get something easy, you don't tend to take care of it. When you have to work for something, you tend to take care of it because you can lose it. All right. Case in point. You talk about the phone, games on the phone, apps, right? Check this out. Okay. I play Candy Crush. I'm going to just put it out there. I play Candy Crush, right? I have never paid for anything on Candy Crush at all. And this is an analogy or a metaphor, right? This is allegorical, all right? On Candy Crush, I play Candy Crush as best I can, and I try my damnedest not to mess up because I only got 5 lives on there, right? And if I mess up, then I got to wait until those lives rebuild. They have to replenish themselves. So what happens is it makes me more skilled at making sure I pick the right move to destroy the right amount of candy. Allegorically speaking, all right, metaphorically speaking. Now check this out. For the people who pay to play, they don't care because they have infinite cheat codes. They don't learn the hard stuff because they never have to see it. But then they market this thing that they can't even take care of. If you are going to let that puppy go, you are the consult for that puppy from the time it is whelped and to the time it dies. You must be available for this. All the great breeders that we like are in awe of, they're doing that to this day. They are shepherding us into the new era. They're giving us the history. And it's on us to take that history and make something about it. Okay? Now, in the words of the late great Tupac, you know what I'm saying? I might not change the world. But if I spark the mind of the person that changes the world, then I play my part. And that's what we got to do right now. Okay, y'all. So we're at the 42-minute mark. Y'all know I only like to keep these things about an hour, so we about to get a little bit deeper in here because I'm trying to give y'all this game, this $1 million worth of game for $5.99. All right? If you haven't already subscribed or you're new to the channel, go ahead, like, follow, and subscribe. We pressing. All right, JT Yard, this one's for you, big dog. Big A and Paula, this one for you because y'all came up with this idea. First of all, if y'all haven't already, go ahead and check out Sunday's video because what I put in Sunday's video is I'm throwing a digital dog show. Win, lose, or draw, I'm throwing a digital dog show for my birthday. Submissions are due by March 27th. And if you submit and you win, you're going to get a certificate of appreciation, an actual trophy saying that you won the first annual Samurai Kennels Digital Dog Show. And I'm the kind of person, I'm like I follow greatness. DMX said he would perform the same way for a crowd of 1 as a crowd of 1 million. And that's what I'm doing. If I get 1 submission, they win by default. I've already got the guest host, the brother at PBK9, Hirsch, Pelican Bay, has already agreed to host this show. I'm trying to tell y'all, brother, I'm trying to put something together for y'all. I'm going to build it. And those of y'all who about it, bring them out there. You got a good chance of winning because I have 0 submissions right now. So if you're in here right now, secrets out. There's no submissions right now, and we got until March 27th. Cool. Additionally, besides the certificate of appreciation and a trophy, I'm giving a $100 gift certificate to my website to get as much samurai gear as you want. This can include hides. So if you don't want nothing but hides, you can get $100 worth of hides. To enter, we do it all. To enter, all you got to do is go to my website, samurai-kennels@gmail.com. You post a side shot, a frontal shot, and a video of your dog trotting around whatever area you trot them in with HD quality video as well as the last 5 seconds of the video being maybe your dog doing like flirt pole or something if you want to. That's optional. In my Sunday video, I have actual template of how to submit it. Also, if you go to my Facebook page or my Instagram, there's a short on how to submit them as well to get your entries in there. But I'm telling y'all right now, this is free money. And you get to show off your dog, and the winning kennel is going to get a lot of publicity because the brother Hirsch, how we're going to do it is you're going to get a number. So if you make a submission, you'll get a number. I'll email you that number. When your number comes up, I highly encourage you. Hey, I appreciate that soul power. When your number comes up, we're not going to tell people whose dog is who. It's just going to be a dog with a number. We don't want them to know your kennel. The purpose for this is we want them to pick the best dog so we can see what the standard is now. They all must be the phenotype of American Pit Bull Terriers. But I want to share that with y'all. And the good brother Zachariah 23 shared this on 7-8 Sports. So y'all can expect that we started something. This is going to be a thing. Like the bigger channels, they're going to start hosting stuff. But that's all good. That's all good. Thank you so much. We do it all. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And you know what, man? If you're second or third up, man, because this is for my birthday. And y'all know I'm a historical person. So where I'm getting this from is for the birthdays of the emperors and the greats back in the days, they would throw gladiatorial games. And instead of throwing a dog fighting show, we're going to do this the right way, y'all. We're going to just show off our dogs. We're already doing it anyways. Get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Gas and Go. I do paid interviews. Soul Power. I do paid interviews. I'm only going to take 30 minutes of your time, but I want to get y'all out there. I'm done doing this shit for free. Sorry, pardon my language. I don't care about being monetized right now. Fuck all that. We're going to keep it gangster out here, man. Like, if I'm doing an interview with you, I'm paying you because I value every one of y'all. And I don't mind throwing that money out there. I don't make this money off of these dogs. If y'all watch my videos, y'all know I drive DoorDash. Every sweepstake I have in my videos, I drive DoorDash to make sure y'all get it. I owe somebody a hide right now, and I owe somebody $50 right now because I haven't gotten their email or I lost their email in the stacks, and I need y'all to follow up. Y'all know who y'all are from my last raffle winners. But I promise you, like I got nothing but love for y'all brothers. But here it is, JTR and Aaron McFarland. They brought up an idea, and for those y'all who are in here, I need y'all to do me a favor. As soon as y'all done, I want y'all to hit 7-8 Sports. I want y'all to hit Thompson Kennels. I want y'all to hit Ready Red. I want y'all to hit Schoolboy. I want y'all to go to Fat Bill's lives when they live, and I need y'all to post this in their lives. What I want to do is I want to create a Piticon. What a Piticon is this. A Piticon is going to be a convention where we can get, you don't have to bring the dogs out to this. Each year or every couple months, we can go to a city and flood it with dog men, where we can just get together and we can fellowship. And at a Comic-Con, you know, like, I don't know if y'all ever been to a Comic-Con. I'm a blur, you know, I'm a black nerd. At a Comic-Con, what they do is they'll have, like, if Michael B. Jordan played a Marvel comic character, he'll be there in his uniform, you know, in his outfit to sign autographs and stuff and give out that information about it and promote that movie. So at the last Comic-Con I went to in Atlanta, Georgia, you know what I'm saying, Val Kilmer was there. I was like, why is Val Kilmer here? But he played Batman, so that was his connection to it. And the guy that played the Blue Power Ranger, he was there. Now, I'm not trying to talk about no damn Power Ranger stuff. What I'm trying to give y'all is that idea. Could you imagine if we could get Schoolboy, 7-8, Ready Red, Thompson Kennels, Gas and Go, you know what I'm saying, all of them, you know what I mean? Everybody who we follow anyways. I see y'all in all the chats, Fat Bill, Triple J. If we could link up and you could have a place where you could go get your t-shirts, your memorabilia signed by them, you know what I'm saying, and have them in one location, man. Come on, man. Man, come on. And Hirsch, you know what I'm saying? All these big time brothers, man, like, it's after losing Carl Mills, man, it gave me this idea, man. I'm like, yo, like, I can't lose another brother like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know Carl Mills personally, but I do know his legacy lives on through us. Through us. And if we get together at these shows and conventions, man. Yeah, man. Hey, man, you know, I try to keep it as honest with y'all as possible, bro. You know what I'm saying? I try to be as honorable as possible. Yeah, man, I'm blurting with it out here. You know what I mean? Y'all know I be trying to use them big old SAT words and stuff in my chats. But nah, man. For real, if y'all are interested in this, man, share this information with these bigger channels because I'm not gonna lie to you. I would go to that convention.
I would be there. I would be there with my little stand, you know what I'm saying, with my little Samurai Kennels gear there. But I would also be walking around to the other booths and showing love. You know what I'm saying? You sell collars, let me buy a collar from you. You know what I'm saying? You got swivels, you got oak lamps, let me get one of these from you. You build slat mills, you know what I'm saying? The slat mill portion over here, you know, you go cop all that stuff at this convention. You know what I'm saying? But also, that's going to clearly identify those brothers who are in it for the love of the real game. You know what I'm saying? Chico said in his live the other day, he said something. And once again, I'm throwing Chico out there, y'all. I'm sorry, but I got to do it because I follow all the dog channels. Chico said, man, you know, a real dog man is not a dog fighter. I'm trying to copy him. A real dog man is not a dog fighter. A real dog man, he cares about the dog and bettering the breed. And that's what he said. But I agree with that. You know, I agree with that statement. He was right about that. And bettering the breed is bettering the people that are associated with the breed. I took that pause because I wanted you to hear that. I want you to think on that. Bettering the people associated with the breed will better their breed. If you have a good core, then what is built off of that core is going to be strong. If you have a weak foundation, then the house won't stand. But yeah, y'all, man, if y'all just checking into the live, man, we're at the 50-minute mark. We about to shut this thing down here real fast. You know, yeah, man, hey, you know, that's how he talk, you know. He say he talk that talk, you know. I don't like it, you know, dude, you know, whatever. Anyways, man, you know, you do something, I do nothing. But so today's live, we talked about puppy illness. We talked about parvo and rickets, how to treat it, how to prevent it, and what to do for recovery. Then we talked about 2 ways to get into the game. I also paid homage to Carl Mims and shared a little quick story about what I do know about Carl Mims. And then we talked about why your dogs should cost more. Why your dogs should cost more. I'm not telling you to raise your price. I'm just telling you how I value them. You know what I'm saying? If you tell me a dog is $2,000 and I can't afford it, oh well, maybe not for me. You know, if you're breeding them to make sure people can get them, then that's probably not the right purpose either. But you do what you do. I want to make sure there's an accountability there. And when you hear these words, you must be held accountable. If it make you feel some type of way, that's because I hate your integrity. And then we talked about my dog show, and finally the great Pit Bull Convention, or the Piticon. Please, 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 if you're still here, share these, go to the other channels, hit Going Hard, hit all these brothers who we follow anyways, and tell them we want to see y'all, we want to shake hands, we want to really like fellowship. We want to do that the right way. And the Piticon is the way to do it. I'm about to blast these brothers. I'm about to be in the inboxes. I'm taking it to them. I'm taking it to them, and I need y'all to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Samurai Kennels and the Shogun Army, we salute you all. We're building a better community. With that being said, y'all, I'm going to follow up with y'all on Sunday. On Sunday's episode, I will have a weekly wrap-up, and we'll chop it up and we'll fellowship appropriately. One love. This is Samurai Kennels. This has been our Wednesday morning coffee talk. We're going to be over and out.